What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Robbery. It was a robbery, I tell you. Lomachenko says he was robbed, and he believes that he won the fight last night on ESPN against Teofimo Lopez and the new. And I want to talk about that. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's been supporting the channel. The Cash Apps went crazy. The Boxing Ego watch party was a major success, and I just want to say thank you, ESPN Plus, everybody who used my link. I really appreciate you guys. I'm an independent creator, so these things help the channel and help us continue our mission. Now, Lomachenko believes that he was wronged, and I want to read direct quotes from Lomachenko. You guys tell me what you think. I'll give you my thoughts after. Lomachenko post-fight quotes. Quote, I think in the first half of the fight, he got more rounds than I did, obviously referring to Teofimo. So I think in the first half of the fight, Teofimo got more rounds than I did. But in the second half of the fight, I took it over, and I was that much better. I want to go home and see what I could do better. I'm definitely not agreeing with the scorecards. I thought I won the fight, but the results are the results, and I'm not going to argue it right now. Right now, I'll go home, and we'll discuss what I'm going to do next, end quote. So he basically feels he was robbed. He says he doesn't agree with the scorecards, so he believes it was a robbery. Listen, I don't know if it's emotion from, you're the fighter and you just went through a tough fight with a kid that you really wanted to win this fight. I get that. You really wanted to show that you were better. But on that night, Teofimo, he did his thing, bro. And Lomachenko clearly lost that fight. I don't know what he's referring to, why he believes he won. Like, at the end of the day, you're not going to win a fight without throwing any punches and getting controlled and tamed by the jab. I don't understand why he would even think that he won the fight, to be perfectly honest with you guys. What did he do? And as far as even saying stuff like he's admitting. So listen, when I did my Boxing Ego watch party, people said, oh, you're being biased and stuff. Because I said that Lomachenko lost the first 7 rounds pretty handedly and easily to score. It was 7-0 before I gave Lomachenko a round, and that was round 8. And he started trying to turn it up because he knew he needed to, because he was down bad. Even Teofimo's own corner said, it's a blowout. It's a blowout, because his son, he was happy his son was doing it well. Look at his undies. Look at his chonies, say, bad mother ucker. You know what I mean? And that's what he showed he was that night. So props to Teofimo Sr. and Jr. They had a great game plan. I don't know what Lomachenko's talking about. How is this a robbery? And to make that worse, how do you, if it's a 12-round fight and you're down 7-0, there were no knockdowns, no point deductions, and then you clearly lost the 12th round. Even ESPN, all the commentators were pretty much in agreement that Lomachenko had lost the 12th and final round. Then there was definitely no way he could have won, because the 12th and final, at the very least, even if you were being super generous to Lomachenko on the scoring for whatever reason, you're just making up your own way to score something. But even if you were doing that, Lomachenko, at the very least, needed the 12th round. You know what I mean? I think he needed far more than that based on my score, but I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I'm saying even if you were scoring generously and you said Lomachenko won round 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, then guess what? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 5 rounds. So you're still down, and then you lose the 12th round. So even if Lomachenko, with no knockdowns, no point deductions, really easy fight to score, right? I told you I felt he was down 7-0, and Lomachenko's pretty much corroborating that in his speech. He says he did better in the second half and took over. How do you take over but you lose the 12th round? And you're the champion, and this kid came out of nowhere, and you were playing games like you didn't know. Lomachenko is looking like a sore loser, period. He's looking like a poor sport and a sore loser. I get it. You have almost 400 Amis, or you do have at 400 amateur fights you don't want to lose. But, it's part of the game. You got to just bow out. There's no rematch clause, so I don't know if they'll do a rematch. But this is pretty poor form from Lomachenko. But once again, since he has the complexion for the protection, let's see if old media gets on Lomachenko's case for being a poor sport. You said you were going to destroy this kid and spank him, and the fans agreed with you and said it was going to be Canelo versus Mayweather, and Teofimo had other plans. Teofimo had other plans, and that clearly showed. He had a great game plan, stuck to his jab early. He kind of abandoned it late, and he controlled Lomachenko. I didn't see this wizardry and this fancy footwork and things like that, so I have no idea what Lomachenko is talking about that he won the fight. Again, I had him down. He dropped the first 7 rounds. You were getting skunked, right? And it wasn't even really debatable. So at the very least, even if you had him winning round 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, in a 12-round fight, that's 5 rounds. And we know he lost the 12th round. So there's no way he would have won unless you were being super generous and just making up rounds to give him. But if you go do the research, which I'll be doing videos about this all week. This is hilarious. I tried telling people what it was going to be. This is why he fronted this kid off and said, who is he? Who's he beat? Because he knew he was a problem. The whole fight week, he knew that Teofimo was a problem because he looked a little bit more concerned and nervous. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just looked very solemn. Like, he did all this before the fight was made. It's like, who is this guy? And nobody knows him, and try to make it look like Teofimo like can't fight or something. But the whole fight week, he looked concerned. And Lomachenko ultimately didn't live up to the words that he personally said that he was going to, like what he personally said he was going to do, and also what the media, mainstream media, depicted him as. Lomachenko got beat by getting outboxed with aggression and power, and that's supposed to be Lomachenko's angle, to outbox people and, befuddle them and things like that. And he was the one. I've never seen anyone who was pound for pound number one, that I felt was pound for pound number one, fight their contemporary or somebody like a Teofimo in their division, not moving up or nothing, but a division he's been fighting at for his last few fights, and lose the first 7 rounds unless it was a knockout. I'm talking about lose at your own game type of thing. That's embarrassing. At least when Mikey lost to Errol Spence, the fight looked, Mikey was down several rounds. But the thing is, Mikey was at least fighting at welterweight. You know what I'm saying? So he moved up in weight. Lomachenko, he was a unified champion. So it's not like he had no experience. Shout out to Teofimo. He got the Black Lives Matter shirt. It's not like Lomachenko didn't have experience. He's been fighting at this division. But the difference is you fighting a real one. You fighting a kid that wasn't just going to back down, kid that was strong, a kid that didn't believe in your hype, and he showed you that. He showed you that he was real. But Lomachenko, this is really poor form, in my opinion, for him to try to be petitioning that he won the fight. Based on what? What rounds did you even give Lomachenko? I don't even think it was a close fight like that, to be honest. What round did Lomachenko get? He's admitting and conceding the early rounds. So you think because you gave it a go and you knew you needed a knockout or something big to win, and because you won some rounds, that you automatically going to win the fight with no knockdowns? Come on. It's similar to Canelo versus Triple G too. Canelo was blowing Triple G out the water, but when Canelo started to fade and fatigue a little bit, Triple G came on. He has heart. He's a fighter. He's a warrior. So he started putting some punches together. But the difference in that fight was Triple G actually started hurting Canelo, and it was pretty visible. So, it got interesting in the later rounds a little bit. But this, even when Lomachenko would explode in these small pockets, Teofimo really had an answer and wasn't going to be denied, and was throwing some great body shots, great uppercut. Like, I think it was his right uppercut that he was constantly utilizing. So he never let the moment get too big for him. He used his tools that he has to get the job done, period. So Lomachenko, he just sounds like a poor sport right now. And this kind of goes to what the Lopez family was saying. Lomachenko's a diva, and look at how he loses, and he just walks out the ring. You know what I mean? He just walks out the ring and doesn't want to talk. Now he's saying he don't agree with the scorecards, but he's admitting that he lost all the early rounds. Then what don't you agree with? What rounds did you get? Does Lomachenko believe that he won the 12th round? Because again, even if you were being generous scoring, he would have needed that, because the first half of the fight, he's even admitting that, you know, it wasn't his best work or slow start or whatever you guys want to call it, and Teofimo's great work. So he's pretty much conceding the first half. So if you've already dropped 6-7 rounds, then that means you only had, like, let's say you dropped 6 rounds, 6-0. You've already dug yourself into a hole. So that means you would have to win. Just listen to the math from a mathematical adding boxing, a 12-round fight. 6-0 is perfectly reasonable because Lomachenko wasn't really doing much. He was moving and fearful and tentative. It was almost like Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman, when Keith Thurman blasted Danny Garcia early, and then Danny Garcia took a while to get off the blocks because he had to be weary of Keith Thurman's power was for real, right? And Danny got a chin, but Danny got taste that power at first, and it took a minute for him. He was like, okay, I got to get some steam off these shots and, you know, let him tire out a little bit. And Lomachenko, he did that, and he did it a little bit too long. You see what I'm saying? So just follow me some quick math. Teofimo clearly won the first 6 rounds, right? So I said he clearly won the first 7 rounds. But let's say 6 to play devil's advocate. He clearly won the first 6 rounds. I say 7, but for the sake of the argument, he won the first 6 rounds. And I seen a lot of pro fighters on, like Julian J. Rock Williams, Berto, and people, they were having Teofimo up like this as well, right? So in a 12-round fight, there are no knockdowns, which make it extremely easy to score. 12 rounds, there were no penalty points deducted for like low blows or no disqualifications, so you could throw additional points out. So you just have to go a basic 10-9 round. 10-9 round. Nobody really had a 10-8 round where they had someone so badly hurt, even though they didn't get knocked down, you still scored 10-8. So this was an easy fight to score. So using that mathematical logic, 12 divided by 2 or 12 minus 6 rounds that Teofimo was up, that means Lomachenko had 6 rounds to get it done just to make it a draw. But we know he didn't win the 12th round, so there's no way you could have scored it a draw unless he won the next 6 rounds, 7 through 12. You know what I'm saying? He would have to win all those rounds in a row. And we know he didn't do that. So it's like the Loma Man fans are doing whatever to try to save his name, but it's not going to work. The kid came with a great game plan. They lived up to the hype. Lomachenko didn't. So all this robbery and the results of the results, Loma need to go back and watch the fight because he got dog walked. It wasn't even a hard fight. Teofimo just did a post-fight interview since, and he said he expected more from Lomachenko. He thought Lomachenko was extremely basic. And the way he made it look, I agree. Again, Lomachenko, he showed heart. He did good in a few spots, but ultimately it was the TO takeover show, period. Use my ESPN Plus link in the description. It does help the channel continue to grow. I appreciate everybody who ordered the Lomachenko and Teofimo fight using that link. You know, the numbers were crazy. I checked my Disney analytics. These are great ways to help support the channel. And let me know what you guys think. But Lomachenko, he's looking like a poor sport. And there's no rematch clause. So Teofimo might end up moving to 140. I don't know what Lomachenko's going to do. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.